Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Shlafman and I practice holistic psychotherapy at Perspective Center for Holistic Therapy in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to share with you some techniques today regarding mindfulness and how to practice them during this strange and unusual time that we're in right now during this pandemic. So the idea of mindfulness is to be really present with wherever it is that you're at. Whether the situation may present itself as something that's amazing or exciting or good, or whether the situation presents itself as something that's challenging or sad or discouraging. Wherever you are in your world, the concept of mindfulness allows you to be present with whatever is occurring with non-judgmental presence. And by this, what I'm referring to is just being there without judging what's coming up. Oftentimes we think of so many different thoughts that ramble through our minds every single day, hundreds of thousands of thoughts, in fact. And when we can be aware of the thoughts that we're having and just allow them to kind of come in like a cloud in the sky. So if you were to imagine just the most beautiful sky possible and you were to notice that there's some clouds that kind of just go across and then they fade away. Imagine your thoughts to be like that, going across, acknowledging them, noticing them, respecting them for whatever they are, and then allowing them to kind of fade on out. And this is a muscle that we build. So it takes time, effort, and practice to be able to develop this formula or concept to work with inside of your body to give you kind of that feeling of neutrality with whatever it is that you're experiencing or doing. So I wanted to share an exercise with you today. It's a great one that you can use really at any point in time, no matter what you're doing. I like to practice it every single day. It's kind of secondhand nature now, where it's just something I experience when I feel like paying attention and I really feel like grounding myself into the present moment. So this mindfulness exercise has 5 different areas. The first one, sight, smell, taste, touch, and the last one is hearing. And so using our 5 senses, we become very present with where we're at. So for sight, I invite you to right now look around the room and pick an object, any object. It can be a painting, it can be an item, it can be the floor, it can be a tree outside, it can be a cloud in the sky. Whatever it is, just notice that object and begin to notice what it is. How did it arrive there? What does it look like? What colors are in it? What's the idea that you have of it? Just observing, just noticing. Great, great. You guys are just practicing mindfulness with regards to sight, the sense of sight. So moving along to taste. Now, if you do have an item of food to use right now, awesome. If you don't, you can just kind of remember this and bring it into your life when you do choose to eat something. So with taste, let's say you were to have a raisin. I do not have a raisin, but let's say you were to have a raisin. And you were to hold it and you were to look at it. And you were to just notice what it looks like. Notice the little grooves in it. Notice how small it is. Is it hard? Is it squishy? Is it soft? Just notice. And then when you noticed it long enough, you might smell it. Can you sense anything? Maybe, maybe not. And let's go ahead and pop it into the mouth. Don't chew it yet. Just allow it to sit there and see if you can sense any flavors. You might even put it on one side of your mouth and then you might move it to the other side of your mouth. Maybe you'll kind of play around with it a little bit where you'll kind of crunch on it, but you won't crunch on it all the way, just a little bit. So maybe it breaks open a little bit of flavor. And then maybe see what that experience is like, what that texture is like. And from there, allow yourself to bite. Only once though, just bite once. And just notice the experience, the burst of flavor in your mouth. Allow it to travel a bit. seeing how it makes you feel. You might notice that you want to chew more. And so give it a second and then begin to chew more and begin to really embrace the flavor, noticing the texture change of the object that's in your mouth. And then when you're ready, go ahead and swallow and just notice how the texture when you're swallowing is a lot different compared to the texture that you had when you were holding it in your hand. That's taste. The other sense, or one of the other senses, is touch. So with this, I will grab my little selenite wand here. So you can grab any object that you want. It can be a rock, it can be a feather, it can be your own clothing item, it can be your hair, it can be your skin, it can be whatever you want it to be. Nothing that represents something negative though. So we want to stay as neutral as we can, neutral or positive. We want to kind of refrain from going into an object right now that represents something negative for you. But so what you're going to do is you're going to notice the object. So we're going to touch into a little bit of sight. You're going to notice it. And then you're just going to touch it. You're just going to experience the different textures of this object. So as I'm experiencing this, I notice that this is a lot softer as it's a worry ribbon. It's fringed on the edges here, which has a different texture to it than the actual selenite wand, which is a smoother texture. And it has a couple of little grooves in it. And if I turn around to here, it has the leather, which is a little bit soft and squishy. And here there's a different type of stone with smaller stones and grooves. And so this kind of feels like there are different levels to it. So just notice whatever objects that you have through touching it, and just notice the sensation on your skin, how each part of that object feels. Is it the same? Is it different? That's touch. The other sense is smell. And so you did this a little bit with your food item before you popped it in your mouth. You smelled it. For me, I'm going to use a lip gloss. So, lip gloss. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to notice the smell of it. I'm going to look at whatever it is, if it's perfume, if it's lotion, if it's lip gloss, if it's body wash, if it's a candle, if it's an essential oil. Essential oils are great items to use to smell because they're very uplifting and they help with so many different things such as anxiety or stress. So just in this moment, I'm going to use a lip gloss, a sleep mask lip gloss, and I'm going to smell it. And it smells like strawberries. So I guess strawberries would remind me of a strawberry field, and that's what I would think of when I'm smelling this. But just allowing yourself to smell something can change the way you feel, can change your mood a little bit, especially if you are having a bit of a challenging day. One of the things I like to share is if you take a shower, use a different body wash, or really be present with yourself when you're washing yourself or you're washing your hair, that the aroma that is brought into the space around you can be, can change your vibration actually. So we did sight, touch, taste. Hello, totally forgot the other one. Let's go over it again. We did sight, touch, taste, smell. There we are. And now comes hearing. So with hearing, what you can do is you can tune inwards and listen to the sound of your breath. So as I'm breathing in, I can listen to the sound of my own breath. Notice if it's slow or if it's quick. Do I want to slow it down? Do I want to speed it up? Notice that I'm touching my heart and my belly just because I feel like doing so to calm me. Or you can listen to the outside noises around you. You can tune into the air conditioning. You can tune into the cars on the road. You can tune in if you're outside to birds chirping. You can play a song on your cell phone. You can tune into so many different sounds to bring you different feelings and sensations. But these are all moments of mindfulness. So during this present time that we're in, while we have a lot of time to spare, some of us that have a lot of time to spare, I welcome you to experience these 5 senses and the activities that go along with them to bring you into present moment awareness and to bring inside of you a sense of balance, a sense of restoration, a sense of positive vibration. Let me know how that goes. I look forward to sharing more meditations with you soon, and namaste for now.